Welcome everybody. So today I want to explain to you how to take your wind chime design and make it something that you can actually use as a template for your actual wind chime, okay? So if I try to take this exact design and transfer it onto clay right now, these pieces would be very small and very skinny, okay? So if I took this design and I did my transfer, it's gonna be that big. And the hole we're trying to make is about the size of a pencil. So if I put a little dot where my pencil is gonna go, do you see how it would break the edge of my star, right? This would fall apart if I tried to cut a hole in this size star. So what you gotta do is you're gonna take a look at your design. You're gonna look for areas that you need to adjust and, make sure that they work. So wherever you've planned on having holes, if it's smaller than an eraser and you need at least 1/4 inch to go all the way around, we just need to kind of like size it up a little bit. So if I was gonna start with this, I'm gonna start with doing the moon and the cloud in the background. So instead of having my paper this way, I might decide to do it this way and make it a little bigger. Or what I could do, because really tiny skinny things, those might have the opportunity to break, or like I don't think I quite have enough room here. Like I don't actually have 1/4 inch. Okay, so like right here on the screen, like I don't have 1/4 inch here. This is actually about the thickness of 1/4 inch. So if you don't have a full eraser space around, then you want to size it up, okay? So for the moon, if I'm gonna size up the moon, I might just make it, instead of like a little teeny sliver moon, I might just make it a little bit thicker of a moon. So I don't have to significantly change the size this way. I'm just making it a little bit thicker, because if I put my pencil right here and I trace around here, because I need to make sure I know where my hole placement is gonna be. Now, if I trace around here and it's not exactly a circle, that's okay. But you wanna know where it's gonna go, and you wanna kind of compare, does this eraser fit on both sides, like all the way around? Is there an eraser thickness that goes all the way around? In this case, there is. So I'm like, all right, so that works good. I'm gonna finish adding this in pencil or in pen. So I'm gonna add that in and be like, okay, final drawing. Now I wanna add in my cloud. So like really, I don't know that I had too much issue. Maybe I need to make this a little bit bigger. It just kind of depends. But right here, that would be really skinny. And we kind of did already size this part up, so it might not even matter. But if I was worried about it, I could just like extend the cloud down a little bit farther. So I'm gonna add on my cloud. And maybe this time, I'll make a puffy cloud. Okay. And maybe this time I'll have the cloud come just slightly underneath, because I want to make sure, that I have enough space, okay? So now I gotta figure out, like, where am I gonna put my 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 holes, right? So if I put it real close to the edge, then like I said, it's gonna break. So you wanna make sure you have at least an eraser space in between, and you're just gonna trace where the holes are gonna go. Now, since I have exactly 7, that's like 1 in the middle and 3 on each side is an even one. So it just kind of depends on what you wanna do, what your design is. But I'm gonna start in the middle, and I'm gonna make sure that there's at least an eraser on every single side, right? So I'm gonna do here, and I gotta make sure there's 3. So I'm gonna do right there. And I'll do, maybe I'll make this one go up a little bit, because there's a little pokey bit right here. So instead of doing it real close, I'm gonna have it go up again. So I'll do another little eraser right here, and then I'm gonna do another one right here, right? And I would continue, add on to the other side. I would continue my design, right? And I'm just gonna fill it in. So I'm gonna say this is about an eraser size, about an eraser size, about an eraser size, okay? So next step is the charm. So now if I stopped here and I traced this on the back and transferred it to my clay, this would work. I could cut this out, I could carve this area, I could carve a little bit here, and once we learn how to do the holes, then we can add in the holes. So this would work. So for the stars, like we said, these are a little bit too small, so I can't just use those. So for other shapes, for the charms, I'm gonna start with the pencil thickness, right? I'm gonna start with where is my hole gonna go. So I'm gonna trace around, kind of even it out a little bit. So that's about the size of my hole right there. And I know I need to have at least a pencil eraser width on each side. So just to give myself like a little, you know, guiding line, I'm gonna be like, okay, so this is a eraser, 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 right? So that's the thickness of the pencil added in right there, okay? So now I know, okay, I wanna make a star, but it has to fit this. So I might decide that I do wanna put my hole right in the middle. That would be fine. Or maybe I want to put my hole right in one of the little pointy bits, right? So I'm gonna do both just so you can see the difference. So if I decide that I want it in the very middle, then overall my charm might be a little smaller. Now, if you're struggling to make a specific shape, if you're like, I don't know how to draw a star, or my, you know, heart is uneven or something like that, and you need a little extra help, just let me know. And I can give you some pointers on how to make stuff nice and even. So if I want it to be like this, then that's good. Like I've got at least the pencil thickness of space in between all the edges, right? Now, if I want it to be where the circle is in the pointy bit, I'm gonna need to make it a little bit bigger because I need to make sure that this is at least, you know, the size of a pencil. So then my charm is gonna be significantly bigger. Now, if I wanted to, I could have some that were bigger and some that were smaller, right? Because whatever size you make this, that's what's gonna transfer onto the clay. And you have to have that space around the hole to make sure that it's not gonna break. Because if you draw your star pretty small and you're saying my hole's gonna go right here and there's not enough space right here, all your little pieces are gonna fall apart, okay? So you don't want it real close to the edge and you wanna make it actual size. Now, if your pattern is like this, where you have the same thing for your charms, then you can use this same one over and over again. You can transfer this multiple times onto the clay. So you can make 7 that are exactly the same. Now, if you want them to be different and you want some big, some small, or maybe you want like, you know, another smaller cloud or something like that, then you can do that. It's up to you. But you're gonna need to make your big top piece and your charms. You want that design to include the holes and you need to make it exactly the size and shape that you want it to be. All right, have fun. Thanks, everybody.